Ladies and gentlemen, hello! Welcome to the comments. So today we are looking at our Love Bites comments. Break the Wall. We have those loaded up and ready to go. We're going to jump in just a minute. Before we do, a couple of things before we get started. If you like what I do and you want to support the channel further, and you know that most of my videos can't be monetized, except for this one. This one can be. But, you know, you want to support the channel further, there are links in the descriptions on the Patreon, so you can go check that out. And in addition to that, super thanks are active on the channel. So if you like what I do, if you like the work that I put in, if you like that I go through and I read these comments, and you don't like the fact that YouTube only pays me about 90 cents for one of these videos, then you could drop super thanks. And then I'll be able to, you know, not have no money. Also, if you would like to save our very own neighborhood editor from destitution, you can tag your super thanks with something like "Save Joe" or "No more destitution for Joe," and that way I'll know that that money is earmarked for him, because I don't pay him money. I don't do it. I just don't. I don't pay him money. He doesn't get money from me. That's not what happens. Okay, that's not what we do here. But if you drop him a super thanks, then I'll know that you're paying him and I'm just the intermediary. That's how that works. That's how we're gonna work that. I have fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is enough flagrant self-promotion from me for one video. We're gonna go ahead and dig into these comments. So first up, kicking things off, we have Rafael Montalvo says, "The craft behind their work is a unique feature nowadays and should be cherished." No arguments. Boop. Saiki's Fang says, "Wall? What wall? Perhaps the small pieces of debris laying around were part of it before it was obliterated." Yeah. Well said, sir. Greg says, "The solos and the riffs have that early Slayer Rampage essence about them. I love it. The interlude reminds me of Master of Puppets." It's been a minute since I've listened to Master of Puppets. One of the greatest metal albums of all time, personally. But yeah, you should go back and listen to that. Check some of that stuff out. And also, I've never actually sat down and listened to any Slayer. The only thing that I know about Slayer is that Raining Blood was really hard on Guitar Hero or Rock Band, and my brother couldn't do it, and I watched him try for hours on end and never got through the song. That's what I know about Slayer. You're welcome. Boop. Moving right along, Miss Luna's Speech replies, "The main riff of Break the Wall actually strongly reminds me of the one starting about 34 seconds into Testament's Over the Wall. Just check this clip and go to the 34-second mark," drops a link. "I can only guess that the reason why far more people mention Slayer than Testament is the context. In this context is that they simply aren't familiar with Testament's debut, The Legacy." Well, I sure wasn't. Which, by the way, was my favorite album in 1987. Maybe we'll check out some Testament, because I've heard the name, but only since I started doing this channel. I have no idea. He goes on to say, "As regards to the interlude, I agree. It does remind me of Master of Puppets." Boop. Good to know. Sal Salcido says, "Dang it, John. Love the fact that you listen first with your heart, mind, and ears, and totally appreciate what you are hearing." Oh, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. For all of those dudes to keep claiming that live is better, have no clue what they have when you listen to the audio recordings. I have a point about this, too, that I will be making shortly. Then you follow it up by listening with your ears and see all the magic they display, what you heard on the audio with some flair. Oh, wait. I said listening with your ears. He typed eyes. I said ears. Okay, so we're clear. He said, then you follow it up by listening with your eyes and see all the magic they display, what you heard on the audio with some flair. I blame mainstream media platforms like MTV and VH1 who began this idea of listening with your eyes. That's a good point. I actually just made a comment in the last video I did that I typically don't like to react to music videos because the visual distracts. It actually just happened with the Deftones reaction I did. I was like, this video is so 90s, it hurts. Like, I had to pause and comment on that before I could get back to actually listening. So, I get it. I kind of agree, too. He goes on to say, back in the late 60s and early 70s, we had some small transistor radios on the mono sound, so we heard everything by ear, mind, and heart. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Look, I'm not gonna argue that there's no visual element to music, but if the visual element detracts from the music, then that's a problem. Okay, that's a problem. We can't have that. We can't. It's about the music. Music's about music, not about the visual. Also, this point about the live being better than the studio recordings. I'll probably repeat myself, but I'm going to say it here anyway. There are a couple of things happening in my mind. Number one, the studio, I think, people say it's over-processed. I think it might be under-processed. Because part of the engineering is taking the sound and making it as crisp and clear as possible. And so if you aren't doing that, like if you aren't achieving that in your studio recordings, then there's some under-processing happening. That's at least in my mind. That's in my mind. So that's number one. Number two, if you're just used to the live recording, then of course the studio recording is going to sound different. And while the studio recording, in most cases, isn't as refined and probably isn't as well engineered as the live version, doesn't mean it's not a good version of the song. Okay? And I think really what makes it a good version of the song is point number three, which is, as I'm exploring this band, I only get one chance to hear each of their songs for the first time. And I want to capitalize, I want to seize that opportunity, right? Because I recognize that it's kind of a valuable one. So in the same way that I'm interested, that like why I'm holding off on like taking a look at Judgment, because I want to understand, I want to get to know the band a little bit more before I dig into their newer stuff. Hearing their first recording of the song that I'm listening to is a great way to dig into the song. It's a great way to learn about the growth of the song, because if you just dig into live recording and you don't know anything about the studio recording, you have no idea what has changed. You have no idea the growth. You have no idea the engineering. You have no idea about any of these things, right? All you know, and admittedly, the live recordings are badass. Admittedly, I'll even say they're better than the studio. They're better. They're a more accurate representation of the music, of what they wanted it to be from the beginning. So that's where I stand on that. And I'm going to keep taking a look at the studio recordings before we dig into the live recordings, because I want to see, I want to be like, I want to feel the growth. I want to feel like the song really come to fruition, because sometimes you can listen to the studio recordings and you're like, yeah, that's cool. And then you listen to the live recording and you're like, oh, this is what the song grew into. This is what the song was always going to grow into. So we're going to keep doing it, because it's what I like. And that's what this channel is for. It's for me to like look at stuff I like. Anyway, Salsocito, very faithful commenter. Appreciate the insights and the educations, as always. Boop. Alrighty, moving right along. Ponyboy Curtis says, instead of Dream Theater, imagine she's inspired by Gary Moore and Parisian Walkways. I don't know either of those people. Boop. I think because y'all drop a lot of references, and don't get me wrong, I love that. But I think what I need to start doing is having a notepad handy so I can jot this stuff down and go take a look at it. Because I really don't know. I don't know Gary Moore, and I don't even know how to say Is that right? Parisine walkways? So, yeah. I should probably do that. Ponyboy Curtis also says, also, remember, Miyako does double duty. Not only is she also on the lead guitars with Midori, she does the piano work. That's cool. For the group. That's my doggo. Check out Swan Song with Chopin intro, which is probably the most requested song. Yeah. And then Studio Swan Song doesn't have the intro they had during the live. Okay, good to know. I mean, I'm still going to do it. It's still going to happen, but... I think I'm planning something special for this one. We'll see. Ponyboy Curtis, with the hat trick, says, in studio bass solo in middle is hard to hear because of the orchestral parts in the In the live, the bass is more pronounced and you can hear it clearly before Miyako's solo. I mean, again, but these are like the little details that you notice after you've spent some time with the song. I think like as an initial exposure, the studio recording is the way to go. Like, it's the way to go. As long as you, and I get like what the live is better people are saying, because you don't want somebody to not know how awesome the band is live and how much live material is out there. So it's like, you might feel, if you're a live is better person, that if somebody only took a look at the studio version, then that would be a travesty, because the live is better, because the live is like, you know, that's really where they spend their time, money, and efforts to produce their music. Yeah, no, I get it. Can you hear my dog? He's barking, and I don't know why. Noel says, I must admit, a lot of viewers can get a tad touchy over how reactors react to Love Bites. Overprotective to a fault. To those fans, I say this. To those fans, I say this. Tone it down, as it is off-putting to many and tedious at best to all. I never liked obsessiveness over anything. When someone is exploring something, give them space to explore and do not browbeat them. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But at the same time, look, I've been thinking about how the fans of a band like are reflective of the band. And so, like, there's a lot of power and intensity in Love Bites, and there's a lot of power and intensity in y'all, right? And so it's, I mean, maybe sometimes to a fault, sure, but I mean, I know for me personally, I don't find it off-putting. Like, I don't find it off-putting. So I'm cool with it. I get what you're saying, Noel, but at the same time, you know, if the fans are a reflection of the band, then it's to be expected. Kyle S. says, you remind me of Tori Pudwill without the beanie. And yeah, the song is a banger. It is a banger. It is. I don't know who Tori Pudwill is. Should I? Should I know who that is? Maybe I'll look him. I see a notepad. I need a notepad. Super thanks. If you super thank me money for a notepad, I will buy a notepad. I'm such a whore. It's fine. World Peace says, Love Bites break the wall lyrics. Oh, drop some lyrics. My man, I appreciate this. Not going to read them, though, obviously. And then some info at the bottom. That's what's up. I'm going to give you a heart, and we're going to pin you. Because people like lyrics. Okay, where were we? Kyle S. Next up, we have DG. Says, at John.reacts, great job and reaction. Still holding out for Above the Black Sea double shot. You never know. You never know what's around the corner. I try to do one Love Bites a week. That's my thing. So, you never know. You never know what's right around the corner. Dre Guy says, Above the Black Sea, and then drops some links. That's what's up. So we got a triple shot there. Appreciate it. Faint Smile says, Above the Black Sea is a huge favorite of mine. Just love the Minyavi Blitz performance. Cool. Good to know. And DG says, same here. That's what's up, y'all. I appreciate the community. Wormish says, oh goodness, what do we have here? What is this? More. Oh, that's not read more. That's just more. Some Japanese bands, old and new, take your pick. Bandmade, I've done a lot of them on their channel. On the channel, love Bandmade. They are fantastic. LOVEBITES, yep, done a lot of them. We just did Break the Wall. Have not done Raise Some Hell. But yeah, there are. We also did Hammer of Wrath, Holy War. What was the other one? Set the World on Fire. Maximum the Hormone, not the first time. I've seen this one. I know that they did the Death Note opening. I know that about them. Dexcore, no idea who that is. Crossfaith, and then you just go on. You just go on. Ninganisu, Unlucky Morpheus, Black Pentagram. I did Black Pentagram as a. Pretty sure I did that one as a double shot. You can go check that out. That was a lot of fun. We're doing more Unlucky Morpheus too. Them and Nemophila. Yeah, I can't say it, but you know what I mean. And Ostracism as well. Ostracism. Yeah. That'll probably be the next track we dig into. Astrodogma, Cold Rain, just bands, just lots of bands. How much time do you think I have? I work. Why are you giving me so much homework? I appreciate it. I love it. It's my favorite. Boop. Appreciate it. Patrick H says, great reaction, John. I like your remarks about attitude. They make it look so effing easy, but the sound is so aggressive and in your face. Midori and Asami have attitude to spare. Miho constantly headbangs. Yo, real talk. If you look at the thumbnail, the shot, I could not get a shot of Miho where she was not headbanging. I couldn't get it. I couldn't find it. It didn't happen. That was the best that I could do. And I'm looking at, I'm like, this really kind of like throws off the whole thumbnail aesthetically for me, because it's just like the others are good. They're like clear, you know what they're supposed to be, and then there's just like Miho at the bottom. And then I was like, okay, I gotta go find another one. I spent 15 minutes scrubbing through the video. Couldn't find one. Couldn't do it. Couldn't find a good one where she wasn't headbanging. Didn't happen. Anyway. Yep. So why her nickname is the natural born headbanger. Haruna is constantly smiling, flex, with occasional stick tricks, and Miyako is stoic and all business. I think their differences on stage are great because they give you a glimpse into their individual personalities. So when Miyako occasionally smiles, it lights up the room in a way it wouldn't if she was like Midori. Again, this goes back to like contrast being the first rule of art, right? Plus, I think since they're, and I'll have to take your word for the personalities, because I don't know them enough to be able to comment with any authority, but I'm still gonna like speculate irresponsibly because that's what I do. But because their personalities are so distinct, I think that creates the that goes a long way towards creating like an overarching tension and like the contrast within the band. That's part of what fuels them to produce the kind of music that they do. He goes on to say, there is nothing fake about a LOVEBITES performance. In true Japanese fashion, they do their best every time they get in front of a crowd, and it shows. Absolutely. Absolutely. Chad the Dragon Lord says, great reaction, John. Oh, thanks, buddy. LOVEBITES sure is an amazing band, super talented, and super exciting to watch and listen to. I hope you can support the band and buy their merchandise and music. I hope I can, too. Oh, we got a thread here. Alex Hidell says, LOVEBITES are their own genre. Oh, okay. They are also the band against whom all others should be measured, unique in every respect. Appreciate the comment. Let's see what you started. Wild Thing responds, sorry, as much as I love Love Bites, and I do, they are not their own genre. They have taken the genre to a new level. Absolutely. The only band that has created their own genre in Japan in the world for a very long time is baby metal. I don't care if you love them or hate them, baby metal paved the way for all the other Japanese bands that followed. Interesting. I'd like to know what your evidence is for that. I'm not going to dispute it because I don't know, but I know baby metal does some innovative stuff, so... I actually just looked at Monochrome, too. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that one. Gato Greto replies, he says, at Wild Thing, I totally disagree with your opinion as a Japanese man being a music fan for over 65 years. If anybody paved the way for Japanese bands, the way started from country and western. Interesting. Hank Williams, Gene Vincent, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Elvis Presley, the Beatles, Rolling Stones, etc. If you wanted to limit it to Japanese hard rock and metal, then it'd be ex-Japan. Not the first time I've heard that name either. Baby metal is just one of the... See, baby metal is different, though. Baby metal is different because baby metal evolved out of the idol scene in Japan, which is unique. Like... And so if you're gonna, which is why, like, if you're gonna make an argument that baby metal created their own genre, like, you might have a case because they started from the idol scene and then really kind of turned that metal in a very successful way. Boop. Great Gratos also says, I agree with you. You agree with who? Oh, I guess Alec. Boop. Wild Thing responds, couldn't let it go, apparently. So you agree with the statement, Love Bites are their own genre? Your statement makes no sense. Now, gentlemen. None of the names you mentioned created their own genre. That's kind of true. You are correct there, sir. Ex-Japan is a rock band along with many others. I'm not saying any of the bands you mentioned are not talented, but none of them created their own genre. Right? We have to be careful not to move the goalpost, right? So if none of them created their own genre, that was the point. Greto Grotto says, LOL, baby metal, LOL. Yo, look, I don't know. I didn't realize this is actually a lot of fun for me, because I love all of the big three, in my opinion, what I consider to be the big three for the channel, Love Bites, Bandmade, and Baby Metal. But y'all hate each other. Like, it's so fascinating and interesting to me, that there's like this very distinct fan groups of all of this amazing music, because look, it's all amazing, and you don't like each other. And it's like, it's almost like that also becomes the fuel for each of the bands too, because there's this like contention between the fan groups of all of these supremely talented and successful bands. And like, you hear people say Bandmade sucks. I'm like, what? What? Oh, okay. Where's your... Okay. Or like Love Bites are overrated. Like, who are you talking to? Like, I don't get it. But at the same time, I kind of really love it. I don't know. It's like, because you're very passionate and you are very protective. And so, I think for me that translates to, it's very endearing. And I think it's part of the reason why I like to interact with you guys so much, is because there is that, like, there's that very passionate, but it's good-natured, right? It's good-natured. So, the Cybermantis at Greco Grotto, I think the Wagaki band is unique. Okay. Who else is doing what they do? I don't know who they are, so I can't answer that. But that's probably why you didn't ask me and you asked Greto Grotto. Greto Grotto replies to the Cybermantis, I can't think of any other. I mean, there are many folk rock bands in the world, but I don't know any band at that level. Most of them are failed and miserable. Boop. So, argument kind of petered out there. That's fine. Moving right along. Emmanuel Beltram says, Asami's background is in R&B. Interesting. R&B. If you find this, Empty Daydream or Inspire, thanks. I guess those are tracks. R&B though. That is not something I would have guessed. I would have gone through like every other genre before I came, like country, maybe not country, but before I came back around to R&B. The Cybermantis says, Inspire is such a great song. Asami shines on that one. Boop. Boop. Martine GH says, some people say that they're breaking the walls of stereotypes in the metal scene. Boop. I'm not sure I could argue that. Guitar Sen says, live is better than studio. Studio albums feel a bit overproduced. Live has more of an edge. Okay, so I guess overproduced could mean that they're attempting to compensate for some type of engineering and adequacy with overproduction. So maybe engineering or audio or miking or something. Yeah, it's no trivial thing to record a studio version of a song. You know, it's quite an undertaking, and it's a much different process than playing the song. So it's not surprising, and I can't blame them for focusing on producing the live music over the studio stuff, because I mean it just is what it is. Live has more of an edge, yeah, for sure. But again, like the studio version is the song in its infancy, and that's what I think I really like about it. Caffeine Night Owl says, great reaction and analysis, thank you. You realize what only a few reactors noticed. One, that they have found their own sound, and they sound like LOVEBITES. Two, that they have, besides their incredible musical skills, they have an ability to touch emotionally, a rare combination. And three, their attitude. When they started, their goal was to prove that sophisticated women can play genuine ass-kicking metal and keep their femininity. And now it is to play the best relentless metal in perfection for the listeners. Subscribed. Oh, thanks, buddy. I appreciate the comment there. Yeah, I mean, they're badass. Oh, yeah. I was drunk the other night. Judas Priest says, this track should be watched live and only live, dude. Boop. And then some dude named John Reacts says, nope, that's not what we do here. Boop. He's right, though. It's not what we do here. Thanks, buddy, for sticking up. Hey. JC says, new girl Fami, the new bass player with LOVEBITES. Here she is before LOVEBITES, Alien bass cover, and drops a link. Appreciate it. When I'm ready to do Judgment, I think I'll go check out some of Fami's stuff. That right? Judgment. That's the name of the track. Forgive me. Faint Smile 88 says, must have left the door unlocked as this band walked straight in and took possession of my consciousness. I feel that. Especially like when the camera's turned off and I can, like, you know, chill out with the headphones. Gone. Barefoot Baron says, I'm just a bloke from England that fell in love with a band from Japan. Well said, sir. Samsoons says, LOVEBITES, incredible. No arguments. Grotto says, just simply great review. Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. I don't mind how you call them, like the singer, the blonde guitarist, or the guitarist on ESP. Okay. The dark hair guitarist, or the guitarist on Dean. Dean? The drummer, the bassist, or by their names, as long as your comments are fair. And yes, they are. Well, I appreciate that. That was mostly for me, though, just because I'm a professional, okay, and I should know the names of, you know, but it is kind of funny because it took me how many years to learn all of the Periphery members? It's like four or 5 years. I just, like, I don't, the same thing with lyrics. None of that stuff really, it's just like, what does the song sound like? And then, like, listen to it, and then there's like a natural evolution, a natural growth where, like, you kind of keep pulling on the threads, and, like, it leads you into different down different paths and into different like you know, like fruitful endeavors. You know, I don't know. We're having fun. You having fun? Is this fun for you? It's fun for me. Zabri Abu Bakar says Japanese all-female metal rock bands they bring back all the 80s and 90s rock metal music, and they made it more metal or rock sounds. And you can listen to every single instrument they played, the songs, the music, the talent, and skill on how they play the instruments. And their live sounds better than their studios. I love them. I love them all. Bandmade, Nemophila, Lovebites, Hanabiye, Osterism. Yeah. They're coming next to you. They're coming. Maximum the Hormone. Oh, female drummer. Didn't know that. Rock on, buddy. Appreciate the comment. Thank you, sir. Brian DeVito says, the live version gives you the incredible presence of the members as they command the stage. You know, that is true. The stage presence is real, and you only get that in the live version. It's one of their greatest attributes that is obviously missing in the studio recordings. Yep. It changes how you digest the song entirely. Rock on, John. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know about that. Maybe because I am in the unique position to, and because I'm doing this thing very deliberately, where I'm listening to the studio and then immediately following it up with the live. So the whole thing digests, I think, differently for me personally, because I'm doing it in such a deliberate and calculated way. Boop. 6 to 5 says, definitely one of my favorite tracks from Lovebites. I mean, no arguments. I mean, every track is my favorite track from Lovebites at this point. I haven't heard a track that I don't like. Oh, also, speaking of, the Hammer of Wrath, with the Awakening intro from the Zepp Diver City 2020. Whew. God damn. It's too good. It's like the way the crowd gets into it in the beginning, it just like amps you you know. Cybermanta says, love the thumbnail. Yes, I agree. You should know their names. Suspicious face. No. Glenn the Pin says, the word you were failing to say was Slayer. Well, I was probably failing to say it because there's no way I would have ever known that, because I already talked about my experience with Slayer. David, I love this dude. His name is so fun. You have the best name. And your comments, they always get me. David Misa Cook says, mijo. I love it. Thank you, buddy. Boop. You get a heart. Felix Pervin says, would palm muting stand for guitar staccato? Good question. Maybe. I mean, you could make the case, but you don't have to palm mute to play staccato. And I think the difference between like a true staccato note is like the note actually rings. So with a palm mute, the note doesn't really ring. Like you still get the tone, but it doesn't ring. So, I mean, you could make the argument, but if you're gonna palm mute, then yeah, it's pretty much staccato just by force of nature. Appreciate the comment. I like to think about things in new ways, ladies and gentlemen. So I appreciate questions like that allow me to do that. Ex Demonist says, "Oh, this song is awesome. I would like to say that this is my favorite, but all Lovebite songs are my favorite." Oh, me too. I just said that. I like both versions. I did too. Both of them are great, but for me, the vocals in the live version are a little bit better. Of course, I suggest Swan Song with Chopin, sure, to see a different side of their talent. Again, this song would blow your mind. Appreciate the @John.reacts. Look, it's coming. Okay. Thank you for your video. More Love Bites on the channel. Yes, sir. Like I said, I try to do like one a week. So definitely stay tuned. Who's this? Hoagies412 says, nice reaction, John. Thank you. Oh, thank you, buddy. It was interesting to hear the studio version for the first time. See, That's part of it too, like for the first time. I may even buy the In the Beginning CD to hear some of the earlier stuff remastered. Oh, look at that. Look at that. In this case, everything has a lot more punch in the live performance, including vocals. Just compare Asami's triple. I have to break, through the wall at the end. And another double feature I'd recommend is Winds of Transylvania. I like the title. The music video, then the live 2021 performance from Heavy Metal Never Dies. The music video was produced for an anime feature and is technically quite complex. I mean, everything Love Bites is technically especially the guitar solos. They'll never play that live, said the cynics. Love Bites, hold my beer, or maybe my sake. Cheers, subscribed. Thank you, buddy. I love it. Support feels great. Mark S. says, I appreciate you learning their names. I struggle to remember the names of some of my family, but I have no problem remembering the names of Love Bites. Good stuff. And then there we go. That's the comment that we pinned a little bit earlier. So where are we on time, ladies and gentlemen? 36 minutes. So, not terrible. Not great. I like to keep them between like 20 and 30. But anyway, I hope I didn't ramble too much. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you got something out of it. And if you did, feel free to drop a comment. I probably won't do videos where I read the comments on my comment videos, but you never know. Who knows what happens. That's going to do it for this one for me. Once again, there are some links in the description to support the channel. Drop a super thanks. If you want to save Joe from destitution because I don't pay him money, then tag the super thanks for Joe, and I'll know specifically that it goes to him. Otherwise, that's going to do it for me from this one. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go eat some dinner. You guys enjoy the rest of your night, and we will catch you in the next one. Peace.